Sirius Black, the man who never stopped searching for family, a smile at the end of everything. There's a moment near the end of Sirius Black's life where he's standing in the middle of a battle, outnumbered, exhausted, years of loss carved into everything about him, and he's smiling, not a brave smile, not a defiant one, just a real smile, the kind that comes from finally being exactly where you want to be. That image has always stayed with me, because when you look at everything Sirius went through, the family that never accepted him, the prison that took 12 years he'll never get back, the friends he lost and the name they dragged through the dirt, smiling is the last thing you'd expect. Unless you understand what he was actually looking for his whole life. Most people remember Sirius as the escaped prisoner, Harry's godfather, the man wrongly accused, and all of that is true. But those are the facts of his life, not the shape of it. The shape of it is lonelier than that. He grew up surrounded by people who shared his name, but never really knew him. He built something better on his own, chose his people, earned their trust, made a life that actually felt like his, and then it was gone. And then he spent 12 years in a place designed to make you forget what warmth ever felt like. When he got out, the first thing he did was look for Harry. Think about what that says. A man with every reason to disappear, to protect himself, to finally put his own survival first, and his first instinct was to find the son of his best friend and make sure he was okay. At one point, he offered Harry a room, a home, a place to belong. It was such a quiet offer, almost too simple for a story this large, but it tells you more about Sirius Black than any prison record or wanted poster ever could. He wasn't just searching for justice. He was searching for something he'd been reaching toward his entire life and never quite managed to hold on to long enough. This is the story of that search. When Harry found Sirius inside the Shrieking Shack, the whole wizarding world already had its verdict. Monster, murderer, Voldemort's most loyal follower. Harry himself had grown up believing it, that this man had looked his parents in the eyes and handed them over to their deaths. Sirius didn't try to talk his way out of it. He didn't plead or explain himself nervously or try to soften what he was about to say. He just laid it out, plainly, the way someone speaks when they've been rehearsing something for 12 years with no audience. He told Harry about Peter, about how Peter had come into their lives wearing friendship like a borrowed coat, worming his way into the Marauders' trust while quietly choosing the other side. About how Sirius had lost James, his closest friend, his chosen family, and then been sent to prison for James's death by the very person who caused it. And about how that same person had spent the last 12 years hiding in Ron Weasley's family home as a pet rat. Peter was standing right there. That's the thing that had driven Sirius out of Azkaban in the first place. Not some grand escape plan, not a desire for revenge in any theatrical sense. He had seen Peter's face in the newspaper, recognized him in Ron's pocket, and understood that the one person who could prove everything was alive and close. He wanted the truth out. He wanted his name back, and maybe, underneath all of it, he wanted Peter to have to look at him. When Scabbers was finally forced back into his human form, and Peter Pettigrew stood exposed in front of everyone, something shifted. The lie that had defined Sirius's entire adult life collapsed in that moment. He was innocent. Anyone in that room could see it, but he had also, without quite expecting it, found something else. Standing across from him was Harry, James's son, the boy he'd been named godfather to, the person who was somehow the last living connection to everything Sirius had lost. He hadn't come to the Shrieking Shack looking for family. He'd come looking for justice. He found both, briefly, in the same hour, and so he asked Harry the only thing that felt natural to ask.
But if you ever wanted a different home...
Come and live with you.
Well, that's just a thought I can understand.
They never made it out of that night intact. As the group left the Shrieking Shack, the full moon broke through the clouds. Lupin transformed. The chaos that followed gave Peter exactly the opening he needed. One unguarded second, and he was gone. Back to a rat, back into the dark. Everything Sirius had held together in that shack, the proof, the future, the offer he'd made to Harry, all of it unraveled in the span of a few moments. He tried to draw the werewolf away from the others, absorbing the danger himself so Harry and his friends could get clear. The Dementors found him anyway. Harry pulled him back from that, got him onto Buckbeak, helped him escape into the sky. Sirius flew away that night still a fugitive, still wanted, still carrying a name that meant danger. The truth had been told, but only to a handful of teenagers. Nobody with the authority to act on it had been there. Nobody who could actually clear his name. There's a particular cruelty to the timing of things in Sirius's life. His family never wanted him. The friends who did want him were taken from him. His first real shot at freedom ended when Peter vanished. And that offer to Harry, "Come and live with me," evaporated before either of them got the chance to find out what it might have looked like. He could have run anywhere after that, put an ocean between himself and Britain, found somewhere quiet where nobody knew his face. Instead, he settled in a cave near Hogwarts, cold hillside, barely any food, living as a dog when he needed to stay hidden. He stayed because Harry was there. That was enough of a reason. When Voldemort returned at the end of Harry's 4th year, Sirius wanted to fight. He'd been waiting for the chance to do something real, to stand alongside the Order of the Phoenix and actually be useful. Dumbledore had another idea. He sent Sirius home. Grimmauld Place was the Black family's ancestral house, a tall, dark building in London that Sirius had walked out of at 16 and never intended to return to. Coming back meant living inside the physical record of everything he'd rejected: the faded grandeur, the dark magic artifacts, the family tapestry with names burned off, where someone had disappointed the bloodline, and his mother's portrait, permanently charmed to the wall in the entrance hall, ready to shriek about blood traitors and family shame at the smallest provocation. He couldn't take it down. He couldn't leave. He could only walk past it every day. He spent his time helping the Order however he could from inside those walls, hosting meetings, sharing information, staying available. But the house pressed in on him in a way that was hard to watch. He'd survived Azkaban by holding on to fury and the certainty that Peter was out there. Here, there was nothing to hold on to, just rooms full of his family's worst qualities and a world moving without him in it. Dumbledore's reasoning was sound. Sirius on the street was Sirius in danger, and the Order couldn't afford to lose him. But there's a difference between understanding why you're confined and feeling okay about it. Sirius understood perfectly. He did not feel okay. Sirius loved Harry. That's the simple version, and it's true. The fuller version is harder to sit with. Harry looked like James, moved like James, had James's reflexes, James's instinct to throw himself into the middle of something dangerous without checking whether he'd survive it first. Sirius had spent 12 years keeping James's memory alive in the worst possible place, and then Harry had walked into his life, and the resemblance wasn't just physical. It ran deeper than that. Sometimes Sirius lost track of where James ended and Harry began. He'd encourage Harry's recklessness in ways that made Molly Weasley's face go tight with worry, sharing information Harry wasn't necessarily ready for, treating Harry's impulses as virtues rather than things worth questioning. Molly said it plainly at one point. He's still a child. She wasn't wrong. Sirius just couldn't always see it from where he was standing. This wasn't carelessness. It was grief, doing what grief does when it doesn't have anywhere to go. Sirius never got the chance to mourn James properly. He went from losing him to Azkaban without a single day to breathe, and when Harry appeared, those two things, love for James and love for Harry, became tangled together in ways even Sirius probably couldn't have untangled if you'd asked him to try. And yet, he showed up every time. He answered every letter. He came back from hiding when Harry needed him, knowing what that cost. He treated Harry like someone worth listening to, worth respecting, worth telling the truth to even when it was difficult. He believed in Harry in a way that wasn't about prophecy or destiny or the weight the wizarding world had placed on a child's shoulders. He just believed in Harry. That counts for something. It counts for a lot. Voldemort built the trap carefully. He showed Harry a vision, Sirius in the Department of Mysteries, being tortured, in pain, in danger. Harry had seen Voldemort use that same place to hurt Mr. Weasley. He had every reason to believe it was real. He didn't hesitate. He went. When word reached Grimmauld Place that Harry had gone to the Ministry, Sirius couldn't stay put. The logic of staying home, of remaining safe, of trusting that others could handle it, none of that held up against the image of Harry in danger. He'd spent months locked inside a house, unable to do anything, watching other people go out and fight while he cleaned and waited. He was done waiting. He went to the Ministry. Harry was still alive when he got there, still fighting, still standing. Sirius moved straight to his side. People who were in the death chamber that night remembered the look on his face. He was smiling, genuinely, openly smiling, alive in the way he hadn't been able to be in Grimmauld Place, in the way that only direct action could bring back in him. He was fighting beside Harry, and Harry was fighting like James, and for a few minutes, Sirius was back somewhere that felt like youth and friendship and purpose all at once. Then Bellatrix caught him with a spell. His cousin, a woman who had grown up in the same house, shaped by the same family, and had chosen everything Sirius had spent his life refusing. They'd ended up on opposite sides of a war in the same way they'd ended up on opposite sides of the Black family's values, completely, irreversibly. The spell hit him in the chest. He fell backward through the archway, through the veil, and was gone. After Harry couldn't process it at first, the person he'd just been fighting beside, his father's best friend, his godfather, the only adult who had ever offered him a home without conditions, wasn't there anymore. He couldn't make it make sense. He moved toward the archway, and Lupin grabbed him, held him back, and Harry couldn't stop trying to get through. That image doesn't leave you. A 15-year-old being physically restrained from following someone through a door that doesn't go anywhere you can come back from. The end of the story. Sirius Black never had a free day. Not really. His childhood was spent in a home that measured love in compliance. His best years at Hogwarts were followed immediately by a war that took everyone he'd built his life around. His name was destroyed without a trial. 12 years of Azkaban. Years more as a fugitive. Months inside a house he'd once run away from. And then the Department of Mysteries. He never got the cleared name. He never got the house he'd offered Harry. He never got the quiet life that should have been waiting for him on the other side of all of it. He died smiling, beside the closest thing he had left to James, doing the only thing that ever made him feel like himself. There's no resolution to that, no comfort that quite fits. Sirius Black lived his entire life searching for something most people get without asking, a place where he was wanted, where he belonged, where the people around him had chosen him freely. He found it, in pieces, in the Marauders and the Potters, and eventually in Harry. And every piece of it was taken from him before he could hold it long enough to call it home. That's the life he had, and he ran toward the end of it with his arms open, the way he'd always run toward the people he loved.